Coming up on American Sunrise, President Trump is weighing what cities could be next for the crime crackdown. Which major one could be up next? We have the answers. Plus, Jeffrey Epstein's victims demand justice on Capitol Hill, promising to compile their own list of high-profile figures involved in the sex trafficking ring. We'll discuss the pressure mounting on Congress to release all files and hold the elites accountable. And later, Coldplay's lead singer Chris Martin is under fire after humiliating Israeli fans from on stage, leaving many calling his words mortifying and dehumanizing. The shocking moment caught on tape that proves once again, out-of-touch celebrities care more about pushing politics than respecting their audience. Those stories and so much more as American Sunrise starts right now.
Good morning, America.
Welcome to American Sunrise.
Whether it's culture,
We have breaking news to share with you.
politics,
President Trump is joining us live now from Florida.
we've got you covered.
This is what it looks like to be a patriot.
We have to protect the American family.
The American dream is still alive.
I'm David Brody.
I'm Terrence.
And I'm Dr. Gina.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in to American Sunrise. I'm Emily Finn, filling in today for Dr. Gina. Live from West Palm Beach, let's bring in David Brody in Washington, D.C., and Terrence Bates in our Denver newsroom. Good morning, you guys. You know, I was reading some of those headlines before the show here, and I have to ask, are either of you Coldplay fans? After all of the controversy with them, I don't think anyone should go to Coldplay concerts. David, we'll start with you.
Oh, wow. Well, they're good. They're good. I mean, I'm not going to be at a Coldplay concert. I'd probably be at something from the 1970s. Yeah, no, they're good. Now after this, yeah, womp womp, not happening. T. Bates, no thank you.
I prefer
Anti-Israel,
cold cuts.
done.
I prefer cold cuts to Coldplay. I'll just leave it there. I think that gives you your answer, no. So let's move on. And really the big story is, and we kind of ended our show yesterday. Shame on me, right, David? We ended our show yesterday taking you to Washington, D.C. for that news conference on the Jeffrey Epstein files. 10 victims testified there, or actually were part of that news conference. Well, The Hill is now out with this headline, which reads, Republican rebels square off against GOP leaders on Epstein files. 4 House Republicans have apparently signed on to this discharge petition. Yes, I am going to name names. Thomas Massie, of course, is one of them. Marjorie Taylor Greene, Nancy Mace, Lauren Boebert are the others. 2 more Republicans would need to sign off in order for this thing to get to the floor and move forward. And basically, this is it's all about oversight, and it's all about making sure that there's transparency and getting as many documents in the public realm as possible, David. That's the goal here.
Yeah, and I think they're going to get those 2 last Republicans. I don't know who they're going to be, but I think they're going to get them. Such a powerful press conference, obviously, yesterday with these women, these brave women coming forward to tell their stories. Good for them. I will say it was strange bedfellows to see Gloria Allred on stage and Marjorie Taylor Greene on stage. And I'm thinking, at the same press conference, and I'm like, wait, what? What's happening? That's like a J.D. Vance AOC Unity ticket in 2028. I was like, wait a minute, hold on, what's happening here? But that just shows you the power of what their stories are all about. So we'll see. I think that discharge petition could happen, though Mike Johnson is going to fight against it, Emily.
Yeah, well, David, like you said, it was extraordinarily powerful, the press conference yesterday. And I think, there's so many unanswered questions. A lot of people want accountability. They want justice. They want these files to be released. So I think there is a good chance that we will be seeing some more information come out. All right, in the meantime, let's check out today's Bible verse. It comes from John 8:12 and reads, Then Jesus spoke to them again, saying, I am the light of the world. He who follows me shall not walk in darkness, but have the light of life. Always great to start the day with a Bible verse. But turning now from the Bible to today's headlines. President Trump is now saying he could send National Guard troops to New Orleans to clean up crime ahead of places like Chicago. Take a look at what he had to say.
Washington, D.C. is a totally safe city. You're not reporting any crime because there is none. They said crime is down 87%, and I said, no, it's not. It's down 100%. We have a great thing going. I could do that with Chicago. We could do that with New York. We could do it with Los Angeles. So we're making a determination now. Do we go to Chicago or do we go to a place like New Orleans, where we have a great governor, Jeff Landry, who wants us to come in and straighten out a very nice section of this country that's become quite tough, quite bad. So we're going to be going to maybe Louisiana, and you have New Orleans, which has a crime problem. We'll straighten that out in about 2 weeks. It'll take us 2 weeks, easier than D.C. But we could straighten out Chicago. All they have to do is ask us to go into Chicago if we don't have the support of some of these politicians. But I'll tell you who is supporting us, the people of Chicago. And I sort of want them to let it be known they have incompetent
reaction.
people.
Let's bring in Illinois Congresswoman Mary Miller. Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining American Sunrise this morning. Would you like to see the National Guard in Chicago?
We would love to see the National Guard there. J.B. Pritzker is a failed governor. He sides with thugs, gangbangers, and illegals. And Chicago is a wonderful city with so much potential, but they have led the country in murders for 13 consecutive years. The murder rate in Chicago is 3 times the murder rate of Los Angeles, 5 times the murder rate of New York City, and 15 times the murder rate of the capital of India. Is that crazy or what? And J.B. Pritzker a year ago was all about having the National Guard come in to protect his buddies at the DNC. So he should swallow his pride and call President Trump.
All right, he should. He has publicly said that he will not do so. So how would President Trump go about mobilizing the National Guard in Chicago then in the absence of support from the governor there, J.B. Pritzker?
Well, President Trump is, he has the responsibility, he even said it, to protect the American people. And if governors that are failed, like J.B. Pritzker and the mayor of Chicago, cannot protect the people, he does have a responsibility to come in there with the National Guard and as an emergency. There is an emergency there, and I think he should come today. I think not one more person should die under J.B. Pritzker's failed governorship.
The question arises, though, of responsibility, and I fully agree with you, but the reality is this is probably going to end up in court if he were to mobilize the National Guard. I point to California as the most recent example where a federal judge said the president did not have authority to deploy National Guard troops in L.A. One would imagine that should he do so in Chicago, it would be a similar situation, no?
Well, President Trump keeps on moving with his agenda and to protect the American people, whether, as lawfare is, he's fighting that constantly in these judges. So I think that he'll move forward and fight the courts.
Okay. Congresswoman, hey, David Brody here. So let's talk about these Epstein victims. They held that press conference after the House Oversight Committee released its latest dump of the Epstein files that they turned over from the DOJ. One of the victims is calling for more accountability. Let's take a look.
And to those in power, hear us clearly. Do your job.
Hey. Release
what needs to be released.
Yeah. Yes.
And hold those responsible accountable. Survivors. Sorry. Survivors deserve peace. Survivors deserve truth. Survivors deserve justice. And to my fellow survivors, your voice matters, your story matters, and you matter. Together we are louder than the silence. Together we will not stop until justice is done.
So, Congressman, what about this discharge petition? Are you for it? Do you think they'll get 2 more Republicans to back it? And I'm still trying to figure out this whole thing about the list. We hear there's not a list, but then these victims are saying we're going to compile our own confidential list. And Marjorie Taylor Greene has said if they give me permission, I'll tell you the names if they give me permission. What do you make of what's happening here?
Well, there's a lot going on behind the scenes, but I think the American people need to remember that this is the most transparent administration that we've ever had. And I personally am going to hope and pray for transparency and for justice for these women.
So what does that mean exactly when you say hope and pray for transparency? Are you for the discharge petition, or what do you want to see done?
I'm going to wait and see how President Trump leads on this issue. I want to say again, this is the most transparent administration that we've ever had. So I believe that he's going to do what's right. You have to remember that there are victims that they don't want their names released, and we want to make sure that the victims are treated well and that innocent people aren't caught in some dragnet and their lives ruined also.
Congresswoman, I do want to switch gears here for a moment and get your reaction to this NPR headline. It says a bipartisan bill to ban lawmakers from trading stocks is unveiled in the House. Speaker Johnson does support the ban. I want to get your reaction.
Absolutely, I support it. Being in Congress is a place to serve the American people, not to build some big stock portfolio. And it's absurd that people come with little net worth and leave multimillionaires. Obviously, it can cause conflict of interest in a member's priorities out here, and it's unfair for them to have insider information and then enrich themselves. I'm 100% for that.
Congresswoman, I can't let you go without talking about these appropriation bills. You and your colleagues are going to have to make some move. The conventional wisdom is that you're probably going to pass another CR, continue to kick the can down the road. But there are a lot of American people who say, let the government shut down so that we can pass these appropriation bills. Where do you stand on the issue? How do you expect to vote as we're now down to a, September 30th deadline or so?
Well, we're going to have to pass the CR, so there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes, but I want to remind the American people that President Trump did not create this problem. He inherited it, and Congress has to help him deal with the national debt. This is suffocating, and the national debt plus what it's going to cost us to service the debt will bring us down. So we're going to have to ratchet back our spending, which this administration and Congress, the Republicans, are trying to do that.
Well,
So why can't you and your colleagues just pass the appropriation bills? And I ask this respectfully, but there are a lot of our viewers who say, well, just pass the appropriation bills and do your constitutional duty.
Well, first of all, everything has to go through the Senate. And I know on paper we have the majority, but we have people maybe on our side that won't vote for what the majority does. And we only have a couple votes that we can give up. So it's very complicated. I'm super conservative, but we have people completely on the other side that say they're Republicans. So we have to deal with that and come together. So I think we're going to end up passing a CR.
Congresswoman Miller, we so appreciate your time. Thank you for joining the show this morning.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
All right, coming up, we check out the hottest headlines from the RAV newsroom with T. Bates. And later, crime and fear are out of control in America's blue states, pushing communities to the brink. The federal government is finally taking action to protect residents and restore order. We'll be right back with more on American Sunrise.